Hey guys, Paulette here, Two Travelers in Mexico, and this is Kenny, one of our subscribers. So I'm going to ask him some questions like we normally do. So, Kenny, why were you visiting Mexico?
Well, I came to Mexico to check it out for retirement, actually. And retirement and a slash vacation, which I hadn't had in quite a while.
And how did this vacation turn out?
Well, not too good. I'm been here now about 3 weeks, and I haven't seen any of Mexico yet.
No.
I've been sick most of the time I've been here.
Yeah.
All the time I've been here, to be honest.
Well, this vacation for Kenny turned out to be a vacation from hell, actually. Vacation we would never wish on anybody.
No. I wouldn't.
So he flew in like, I don't know, 2.5, 3 weeks ago now, I guess.
Right at 3 weeks, yes.
Yeah. And he didn't have a good experience. You want to tell your story at all?
Well, I'm from Nashville, and I landed in Dallas and swapped planes, and then took the plane onto San Luis Potosí. When we landed, I just went out. I remember looking out the window and watching them unload planes. And then the next thing I remember as I woke up inside the airport in the medic clinic with paramedics standing over me. So not sure really what happened to me. I had a convulsion, and things just kind of went downhill from there. So I wound up going to the hospital. The first hospital was not a good experience. I think it was the state-run hospital.
Yeah, the IMSS hospital probably.
Where's the Insabe hospital?
Insabe, okay.
Yeah, and that was, I wouldn't wish that on anyone either.
It wasn't clean, you said. You said
No,
it was dirty.
filthy. It was filthy. I mean, it was like, I've never seen anything like it.
Wow.
Who would even compare it as a hospital?
Wow.
It was really filthy, yeah.
And from there, where did you go next? That was
Well,
by ambulance.
That was by ambulance. And then I have some more friends that I know here that are retired and live here now, and they took me to their house, and I spent the night. But by the next morning, the pain was so great that we had to do something else. So then they took me to another hospital. I think it's called Angeles, and it is a private hospital.
You were there actually you came in on Wednesday. You stayed at Luce and Paul's place, whatever you want to call it, downstairs, right, on the couch that first night.
Right.
Then, I think because you were in pain, they took you upstairs to the bedroom to lay on the bed to help you better, because you were there 2 nights. And then Friday, we came to get you, and that didn't work, did it?
No, it didn't. Unbeknownst to everyone at that point, I had a fractured vertebrae, and that's what was the cause of all the pain. And so we went to Angeles Hospital.
We had to call an ambulance. They had to take him down narrow steps.
Yeah.
In one of those stretchers, I guess you would call it. Mark had Kenny's head part, and the ambulance guy had your feet part. But the ambulance guy had the heavier part because, when you're going down all that weight. So the poor guy was like all sweating profusely, trying to get you around that narrow corner.
I was sweating too. I thought they was going to drop me. So
then he went to Angeles Hospital. That was a place that Mark and I had been to for emergency. We thought the care was fabulous. It's a private hospital. I didn't have any experience with any other one, so that's where we told them to take him, and that's where he ended up. And then what happened?
Well, again, I had a lumbar vertebrae that was fractured, and they had to do surgery. And
they ran a bunch of tests, x-rays, MRIs, all that stuff to see what was going on, what the pain was coming from. And then the doctor came in and said, it's not good. You got a broken back.
Yeah. So they've performed surgery, and I don't know exact amount of metal I have in me now, but I've got like four screws and 2 pins and a couple of plates and all that. So we're now 3 weeks post surgery, and I'm still recovering. It has not been easy by any
I think
means.
it's actually been about 2 weeks. I think you went in on the 24th. You got here on the 22nd. You went into the hospital the 24th, and you had surgery that Saturday, the very next day, the 25th.
Mhm.
And I think it's been about 2 weeks.
Maybe you probably
Yeah.
have a better view of that than I do, because I have lost all track of time since I've been
And
here.
that's so easy to do when you're, laid up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it
You're
is.
laid in a hospital bed. 5 days he was in the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then after the hospital, they transferred you to rehab, this place where you're at now.
Uh-huh.
And he's got a brace that he wears. And what else? And walks around with the walker to get some, strengthen those muscles and help him, And what else? I don't know. It hasn't been a pleasant vacation.
It has not been a pleasant vacation.
I feel so bad for the poor guy.
You've been here all this time. Literally, you've only seen the inside of an airplane, the inside of the airport, the inside of an ambulance, and the inside of a hospital room, and now the inside of your rehab room.
Right. Not one single beer, not one single taco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing. I've been eating soup and food that they serve here at the rehab. And don't get me wrong, the people here at the rehab have been, I couldn't ask for better people. They've been the kindest people.
What is this place called? Like home? What is it called, Mark?
Sweet home.
Oh, Sweet Home. That's the
Sweet
name of
home. Well, it is, and it is because, and I think it's a rehab / retirement community. It's a small business. I think they have like 36
Yeah.
residents here, and I've seen several of them are elderly, and they just live in a room here, and honestly, I think I'm about the sickest one I've seen here. So. But they've been very kind to me, very supportive, and
Mm-hmm.
He even has his little bell.
oh yeah, they gave me a bell.
When
to
he
ring.
needs something, he just rings the bell. Yeah, but you've had, I gotta say, Miguel's been excellent. I mean, he's been like your personal
Miguel
assistant your whole
and-
time.
and his mother, who owns it, have just waited on me around the clock.
So here's Kenny walking with Miguel and an aide.
And for actually nothing really, very little amount of money at all. And
When he says a little amount of money, you want to say how much it is a day here or whatever that you've,
it's $60 a day.
which is 1,200 pesos.
Yeah, and that's all your meals, and of course a room, shower. But I feel like they probably went a little above and beyond with me, and because they've done a lot more than that for me. And anytime I need anything, I can text Miguel, and he's right here. And yeah, it's. The service here, what they've done for me has just been incredible.
And then you had to go back to emergency. Remember that?
Yes.
Poor guy. He just hasn't. Kenny hasn't had any breaks. I am telling you.
He hasn't even had so much as a taco here in Mexico.
That's what he
now.
said.
That's just a
Yeah,
crime.
I haven't. Yeah, I have had no Mexican food at all.
Then we were gonna get him al pastor, and then he ended up biting his tongue, which is so painful. If you guys have ever done that, it's so painful. So that he couldn't have al pastor. So then we were going to bring it the next day, and he said, well, just wait a little bit. So the poor guy hasn't had anything. It's been awful.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to going home
Yeah.
and regroup and come back another time.
Yeah.
So.
Now, has this left it tainted?
Oh no, not at all. Because it's nothing happened to me here that was caused by Mexico.
Right.
This is a health problem with me. I mean, I collapsed. I had a convulsion, and during the fall, I broke a bone. So I can't blame anything on anyone but myself. So I'll come back. I'm really, I really want to consider Mexico for retirement, and I know several people that live here. I know several people that love it here, and
We're one of them.
I just the cost of living, the health care that you can get here. Yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah. So, okay, so I was with Kenny when he went into the hospital and stuff. They would only let one person in the room at a time. And his surgeon fee for fixing his vertebrae was what, an L3, I think is what it was?
I think it was L4.
L4, okay. Was his fee turned out to be, I forget what it was in pesos. It was
115,000 pesos.
okay, 115,000 pesos, which is how much, Mark? A little over 5,000?
Yeah, about $5,700 US.
Yeah, it was around five grand, somewhere in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, in Nashville, it wouldn't have been done for no $5,000.
Oh, right.
So
I mean, I was looking up online how much it can cost, and even with co-pays, it's a big expense.
yeah.
How much was your stay in the hospital? Because that was separate from your doctor bill.
I want to say, and y'all will have to, my memory's still kind of cloudy, but wasn't it 150,000 pesos?
It was, the first time we paid, it was 52,000 pesos, right? Was that right? 52,000 pesos, which is about
$2,600 US.
Yeah, about $2,600 US.
Well,
And but keep in mind, that was his MRIs, that was his X-rays, that was all kinds of
Everything.
stuff.
Yeah, that was everything.
That was like a day and a half on pain meds, saline solution, all that stuff. I don't even know that you could touch anything like that in the United States for
No.
$2,600 for
No.
a day and a half. And then he had another bill, because when you check out, you have to pay. And the other bill was 62,000 pesos, which was about what?
$3,100 US.
Right, $3,100 US.
And then he had a bill for the
Parts in his back.
parts in his back. Yeah, that was.
The
I had to pay
hardware.
for the hardware.
Yeah.
The screws, bolts and screws.
The hardware.
And-
And that was, I know one of the bills was 30,000 pesos, which was about $1,500. And then I think there was another one. I never saw that one though, Kenny. But I remember Paula telling us there was another one for like $1,930. Do you remember that? Or
Yes,
telling her that?
I remember.
Okay.
I'm kind of
That
still
was-
kind of cloudy
Yeah.
about it.
That was for the synthetic bone.
Oh, okay.
39,000 pesos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the guy, he's worth a lot more than he was before now with all that hardware in his
Yeah.
back, right? From what I understand, metal's pretty pricey now. So
Yeah. Kenny, how was your stay in the hospital
Yeah.
where you had your operation?
It was great.
Yeah.
I couldn't really tell any difference between it and being in the hospital in the United States.
Yeah.
I had to have surgery 3 years ago for appendix surgery, and I was in the hospital for a few days in Nashville in St. Thomas, and I think the quality of care was every bit as good here as it was in the United States. I have no gripes about it at all.
Yeah.
All the rooms were private, very clean.
yeah, he had a nice room.
Meals. I mean, what can you say about hospital food? Not much, anywhere. But but it was good quality, nourishing food. I guess is the way you should put that. Would be nourishing food. Wasn't tasty, but
Yeah,
help
but
you recover.
and this guy didn't have an appetite for I don't even know how long.
Yeah, and I still don't. I'm not eating much. It's taken a toll on me. So hopefully I'll get my appetite back. I haven't even shaved I've never ever had facial hair this long in my life. I'm sure I look like because I haven't shaved since I've been here. So
Yeah, well, he looks pretty good for going through hell and back for his vacation, that's for sure. But he's going back home now. He's going to finish his recovery.
going home on this Sunday.
In 2 days.
Monday.
In 2 days, he's going to go home.
And try to get back to full health. So.
And we just told him that he's going to be loaded up on a bunch of pain medicine so like he could sleep in the seat, because I think that's your worst fear is sitting there for 2 hours on a plane.
I mean, I'm not big on flying anyway.
Yeah.
Not from a fear standpoint. It's just that it's just not that comfortable.
Yeah.
And
Then you got to switch.
then I have to
Planes.
I have to switch planes in Houston, and then go on to Nashville. And I think the total flight is like maybe 6 hours, something like that.
Okay.
And you've got someone came from the U.S.
Oh, right.
Came down here,
Someone came from Nashville.
Sean, and he's
Sean.
going to fly back with you.
Yeah, I would not attempt it by
No.
myself.
Yeah.
So.
No. But so I'm glad that this doesn't change Kenny's mind on Mexico,
Oh, not at all.
you know.
Not at all.
But his next visit here will be a lot
I'm gonna wear
different.
I'm gonna wear full body armor the next time I come.
But yeah, so that's his story. It's not a real good story, but I think the care that he received in Mexico, because you had no idea what it was going to be like having surgery in Mexico. I think that did scare you.
I was a little apprehensive about
Yeah.
it because it's just in the States you hear all these things about Mexico, not only about that healthcare but also about crime and all that, and there's just so many things that are not true about Mexico. And that just all these, they get perpetuated, blown into things that are not true.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you that the medical part of it is one of those that has been blown out of proportion. That you're now, with a caveat, the first hospital I went to was a public hospital, and it was not a pleasant experience.
Kenny would not have had surgery there. Put it that
No,
way.
I wouldn't have. I would have probably, I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah.
But it was just not, it wasn't clean.
Right.
And I laid in the hallway of the emergency room for almost 12 hours.
Wow.
And the pain was...
Right.
And one other thing that I wanted to mention here on pricing is the ambulance fees. When Kenny went from being brought here by ambulance, well, not here, but brought by ambulance to the Angeles Hospital, his bill turned out to be $75 US. That was it for a ride in an ambulance.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know what it would cost now today in the United
Well,
States.
I had to take an ambulance a couple of years ago when I fell. I sound like I'm just prone to... Everywhere I go, I wind up in an ambulance or emergency room or something. But
I think we just need to wrap you in a lot of bubble
wrap or something. But my ambulance bill in Nashville to go, I went about 4 miles, was $1,800.
And he went a lot more than 4 miles, that I can tell you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And what was interesting is Mark and I followed behind the ambulance and we missed an intersection. So we stayed behind at the red light and the ambulance had gone through it. They pulled over to wait for us, not knowing that we, knew the hospital, which I thought was incredible. I mean, and then they waited. When they saw my car, I kind of flashed my lights, and then they pulled over and continued to go on. So hopefully the next interview that we do with Kenny will be on his next trip to Mexico on a much better note. There's a couple of places he wants to check out. I think Puebla's one.
Puebla
where else?
Probably Querétaro.
Okay.
And here, I mean, I've been here for 3 weeks, but I have not seen any of it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, you did get that little view from your hospital room of that little garden.
True.
Remember that? That's all the poor guy has seen.
Right.
That's it.
That's it. So yeah, I'm going to check out those 3 places and see if I could live there. And I have some friends that live in Querétaro. I don't know anyone that lives in Puebla though. But I'm just, my number one factor in determining a place to live in Mexico is climate. And I want the best climate. I'm from Nashville, and I think I looked earlier, it's like 100 degrees today, and the humidity's like 95. So it's like, that's the big determining factor for me.
Yeah.
And I think here right now, I haven't looked, I believe I saw it was 72, something like that.
It's pretty nice outside.
Yeah, and sunny outside, so yeah.
All right, well, good. I kept asking Kenny, like, I hope this doesn't ruin your view on Mexico. I hope that you're still going to come back and really check it out, and I hope, and he was like, yeah.
I definitely will. I certainly will. Yeah.
And I'm really glad to hear that. I'm really glad that his experience with the surgery and in the hospital and in this rehab facility has been phenomenal.
Yeah, the Mexican people that I've had contact with are just out of this world, kind. All of them.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Over and beyond, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't say enough good things about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from the 2 travelers in Mexico, as always,
What she did.